All right. Hey there, team. Welcome back. Week 2. Let's do a little coding quiz review. We're going to go over the answers to your week 2 coding quiz. This allows you the opportunity after you've taken your 2 attempts, if you're just still like, man, like scratching your head, like, where did I go wrong with that answer? This is what these videos are for. I'm just going to cover how you would have achieved the right answer, right? Going through your ICD-10 manuals or your coding manuals each week. I do this. All right. So let's start with question 1. Question 1 was pigeon toes, both feet. Anytime you see details like 2 codes, separate each code with a comma and space, please know that the embedded answer includes a space. And if you don't include that space in your answer, then it's going to automatically mark it wrong, even if it's right. If that happens to you, please reach out. I'm happy to support and provide credit because in reality, real world, we don't code with commas and spaces, but please follow the directions. Um, that way you don't get erroneously marked wrong, okay? All right, so this one looks pretty familiar. I think we did this in one of our practices, so this should be pretty easy to find here. So remember, we're always asking ourselves, what is the condition? What is the problem? So anatomic site, we know that this is occurring in the toes, and it's occurring in both feet. Those are our details. Now we need to find what the problem is. Well, they're pigeoned, right? So pigeon would be the first word you'd want to look for inside of your alphabetic index. Just going to start clicking through these pages here. If I recall, once you get to pigeon, it's going to guide you to go to deformities, toes, and feet, I believe, or specified, not elsewhere classified. We're about ready to find out. Okay, PIT, PIN, pigeon. All right, so I'm in the index. I found the condition, pigeon, and then it guides us in the sub entries, breast, congenital, and then we're looking for toe, and then it says deep C deformity, toe, specified, not elsewhere classified. So at that point, you would come over to the term deformity inside of your index, and then you would find, and then the next selection would be toe, followed by specified, not elsewhere classified. Now, something to talk about while I go through these and find the deformity section is when you have codes that are defined as specified, not elsewhere classified. What does that mean to you? What does NEC, specified NEC, really mean? Well, what it is referring to is saying that you have a specified condition that may not have its own specific entry, like defined entry. So you may find yourself under a code that just says, hey, we have a specific type, but it doesn't have its own definition in the index, so it's going to be not elsewhere classified. All right, so almost there. Getting close. Deposit, dementia, dehiscence, degluten. All right, we've got to be getting there now. There it is. So deformity, main term, up here a little bit more. It's highlighted right there. And then I scroll down. I've already color coded this. There it is. And then, so what that first entry in the index from Pigeon told you is to, once you find deformity, then look for this word, then look for this word, specified, not elsewhere classified, M20.5X. Now, also notice that it has something about tongue and congenital. Just focus on what's pertinent to you, okay? And then you would come over and then you would hit the search. You would paste that code in, so it'll take you over to the tabular section where those codes reside, okay? And then now we were given the information that this is 2 codes, right? Because we have the code for each foot. So you can see from here, your answer, your total answer would be the M20.5X1, comma space, and then you need to code also for the second foot or the left foot. And then also, before I leave this section, I want to show you that M20.5, it's described the subcategories other deformities. So you may be asking yourself, or you may have been like, wait a minute, why am I not seeing pigeon once I get over to the tabular section? That's because pigeon does not have its own index entry. It's classified under other deformities. Okay. And that is the why for that. Okay. All right. So what's the lesson here? The lesson here is trust your index. Okay. Okay. Next up, we got the term of torticollis. So I'm going to go back to my index and I'm going to go to my T's and I'm going to look up torticollis. Just going to kind of skim through these sections right here, get a little closer to the T's. I'm telling you guys, if you find out how to tab these index sections to make it easier, you let me know. Because I'm not new to coding, but I am new to these digital books. Okay, I'm sure there is a way. All right, so I'm in my T's here, and now I'm just going to go down to torticollis, torsion, torticollis, there it is. And we don't have any other information. So when you don't have any specific information that would pair with a sub entry, then then what you'd want to do is you want to use what we call the default code. And the default code is a code that resides directly next to that main term. Okay, so if you don't have any sub entry details, then you always code to the code from the default. And then again, we never code from our index either, right? So we're going to have to come over here, put it in the search, and then go over to where that code entry is inside the tabular section. And here we are, torticollis, and that's it. That's our code, M43.6. And that one actually has its own, has some little some excludes notes underneath of it. So when you see excludes one congenital, they're simply telling you that if this patient has a congenital form of this, then it's not coded under torticollis. It would be coded under this Q68.0. And that's simply what it's saying to you, right? So it's anytime, remember, when you see an excludes one note, it's simply telling you that all of these codes cannot be coded in this category, right? They have their own separate entries. Don't code with this is basically what it's saying. They're mutually exclusive of one another and would never be together. So think about like an acquired disease versus a congenital disease, right? Somebody could acquire deformation, maybe after an accident, right? But a person could also be born with a congenital deformation of that same arm or leg or whatever it is. So you have to define it based off whether they were born with it or whether this was acquired as well. Things to keep in mind. All right. So M43.6. All right. So next up, let's go to question number 3, which is going to be pectus excavatum congenital. Oh, we were just talking about congenital. All right. So remember, here's another clue for you as well. Anytime that you see the term of congenital, that automatically, I want you to think the letter Q. And the reason for that is because congenital conditions have their own separate category, and that coding category starts with the letter Q. Okay. All right, so I'm back over. Oh, I'm not back over. Let me get over to my index again. And so now I'm thinking pectus would probably be like the pectoral area. So maybe I should go with the term excavatum as my starting point on this. Let's see. A, B, C, D. Where am I at? I'm in the H's. Go back a page. There we go. Let's see what I find under excavatum. Exanthium. Oops. Excess. EXC. Not seeing what I expected to see. Okay, well, let me start with the word pectus then. Nope. S's. There's a lot of S's. There we go. Did I go too far? I did not. Okay, let's see what I find here. Poor, pili, phobia. Somewhere around here. Pectus. There we go. All right, so we ended up having to start with pectus. Cool. And then we're going to go from there. Excavatum, congenital, Q code Q67.6, all right? And then same thing, come over, paste that code, click the search, and don't click here. Remember, pay attention to these bold sections because this is just pulling up where it's located in the index. You want to come over to the chapter or where that entry in the tabular section resides. So we're in a chapter. I'm going to click here. And that brings us to calling this congenital funnel chest. So yeah, I mean, we weren't really off by thinking pectus is the anatomic site, not to go there first, but in this scenario, that fit best. All right, so Q 67.6. Okay, let's check out post-polio foot drop. All right, so I do find sometimes that answers will include the code of polio plus foot drop. We don't want to do that, okay? So the word post means after. So really what they're saying is that this condition of the foot drop occurred after polio, okay? So this is a acquired condition that happened, it was acquired after having polio. We don't need to code the polio, okay? We just code for what happened afterwards. Foot drop. All right, so in this scenario, I'm pretty sure, right, we're not going to go to foot, right? We want to go to drop because that shouldn't be happening. And then I'm going to come over here to my index, as usual. Go to my D's, look for drop. As quickly as possible. Decrease, defect. Let me close out of here. Discord, disorder, section. There we go. Got to be in this area right here. Drunkenness, looking for a drop. Dropsy, dropped heart, drop. There we go. Oh, look, we're going to get taken on another journey. You've probably already been here. So drop, foot. And now we got to go to deformity, limb, foot, drop. Deformity, limb, foot, drop. Okay. Fortunately, we're already in the D's. Sweet. So now I just got to go to up here a little bit to deformity and then start my search. Deformity, limb, foot, drop. Deformity, limb, foot, drop. Don't forget that. Oh my goodness. Arrangement. I thought I was right there. What happened? Delivery, dehiscence, deformity. Here I am. Deformity, limb, foot, drop. Okay, so deformity, and then I'm looking for limb. There it is. Deformity, limb, and then foot, drop. There it goes. Okay. I'm gonna highlight all this for you. And then limb right here. So that was kind of, that's the flow of it, okay? And then that puts you at M21.37. But you can see right here, obviously we're going to need to search across the book to the tabular section, and then come over here, click on the tabular entry, and then notice that M21, I'm going to bring you up to the category here. M21, the category is other acquired deformities of limbs. So again, this was acquired after polio. So M21.37, and then we need to add that final entry for laterality. And since it didn't tell us whether it was the right or the left, we're going to choose M21.379, which is for the unspecified type. Okay. Okay. Let's move on to number 6. So number 6 is going to be congenital bow legs. Ooh, another one where automatically I want you to clue yourself in that you're going to have Q codes here, right? Because this is a congenital condition. So bow-leggedness is going to be the problem, right? The condition that's occurring. And then we'll look for the type being congenital. Blindness, break, Boyd's bow leg right here. And then bow leg, and then you have your type of congenital, Q68.5. And then from here, always copy, paste, search. All right. And then you're going to find your answer. And we don't know what leg, right? It just says congenital bowing, long bones of leg, unspecified. And so you just got to code what you've been given. So that's going to be the Q68.5. All right. Moving on, let's talk about number 7. We've got humpback from old age. So humpback is the condition, right? And the reason is going to be old age. So that's just degenerative. So now we're going to come over here. I'm going to go to the term humpback inside of my index. Still in my D's. F, next page. All right, Hutchinson's hunger. Humpback? Humpback. Oh, look at that. I love it. We have to go on another journey. Yay. So it's simply telling you that, hey, if you're looking for humpback, you're going to have to see the term kyphosis. So now we're learning, oh, okay, so that's like the medical term for humpback. All right. And if you weren't sure, now you know. All right, so HIJK. Kyphosis. Here we go. All right, and then sub-entry, do we have anything for old age? I don't see anything listed specific for old age. So what does that tell you? Tells you that you just have to use the default code. So you would copy that, come over here, paste it, search, go to the chapter tabular section, make sure there's no additional information. So M40.209, unspecified, kyphosis, site unspecified. So from old age is unspecific. We don't have a not elsewhere classified. So, and we don't know what site, right? So where was the humpback occurring at? As you can see here, there's different, this would usually be in the thoracic spine, but we don't have those details, right? So we need to be as unspecific as possible. Okay. All right, so that one's going to be M40.209. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Low back pain caused by vertebrogenic. All right, so I'm actually going to look up the word vertebrogenic and start there, or I may go to pain and then back and then see it says caused by vertebrogenic. Actually, let's see here. I'll take a stab at it and go with the vertebrogenic, but I think we're going to go with, we're going to have to go to pain and then back. But I'm going to throw it out there. I'm always curious to see how else I can find a code as well. W's, I gotta be close. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything here. Verruca, vertigo, and what is this? V-E-R-T-E, V-E-R, vertebra. Nope, nothing there. Okay, worth a shot. All right, so what do we have? Well, we got pain. Where's it occurring at? In the back. What area? The low back. Okay, so let's just take another journey then. All right, let's go over to the P's. Start with the problem, which is pain. Back a couple pages here. Boy, there's a lot of S codes, a lot of S diseases. All right, so pain, come up here a little bit. All the way up, almost. Harry, Parkinson's. Pain. All right, so now that we're at pain, now we're going to start looking for back, lower back. Let's see what we find here. There's back postural, M54.9. Let's see if I can get any more specific. I think we might have to start there and see what else we can find. Because let's see here. Oh, here we go. Even better. Hey, I love it. So we still needed to end up going to pain and back, but I was able to find vertebrogenic in that subsection under pain. All right. That was worth it. All right. So that's going to put us at M54.51. And then, of course, as always, make sure that we are following up inside of the tabular section, right? So I make these videos, I do 10 questions at a time. So I'm going to go through the next two questions and then I'm going to end this and then I'll do questions 11 through 20, okay? So again, always make sure you're following through to the tabular section, ensuring that there's no additional information that would be specific to your code. All right, and there you go for vertebrogenic low back pain, low back vertebral end plate pain. Now we know. All right, up next we got Caschenbeck disease, right ankle and foot. All right, so I'm just going to look, this is such a distinctive term. I'm just going to throw this in the search here and just see what comes up. I have a feeling that there's not a whole lot, right? So I think we'd be all right. Let's just check it out. Let's go over and just go to M12.1 inside of the tabular section. This was an easy peasy one. Didn't have to go into the index really because it's just going to be one term. It's probably not going to show up a lot of places. And then once we get over there, we can start looking for those specific anatomic sites. So we're looking for the ankle and foot, okay? So that's knee, hip, hand, wrist. There you go. Ankle and foot. All right. And then laterality is going to be right ankle and foot. So your final answer is going to be M12.171. And that covers your right ankle and foot. Sweet. All right, one more for this video. And then pause and move on to the next one. Last one. Number 10, spontaneous shoulder muscle rupture, non-traumatic. All right, so we have a lot of descriptives on this one, right? So problem, base problem, a rupture, right? And then what ruptured? A muscle. What muscle? The shoulder muscle. How did it rupture? Spontaneously, and it wasn't traumatic. That's how I would read this, right? When I'm thinking about my flow, when I'm going to search for my answer. So I'm going to start off with the term of rupture, okay? Now, I'm sure there's going to be 1,000 different ruptures, so I'm not even going to try to just start at the search bar for this one. You got to go over to the index. And then as we get a little more comfortable flowing through here, we're in the F's. Where am I at now? The W's. Okay, went too far. Still in the S's. All right, I'm in the R's. I'm in. Let's find rupture. Rubella, getting close. Okay, here we go. Here's rupture. And then we're looking for muscle rupture. Meniscus, muscle. And then detail non-traumatic. Got it. And then looking for shoulder region. I'll take that. Okay. So this is probably as far as we're going to get. All right. So now I'm going to go over and look at M62.11. So just copy that. Click here, search. And then go over to the tabular section where that code resides at. And then what else do we need to give it? Let's see. Nothing, right? M62.11. 1.1 other rupture muscle, non-traumatic shoulder. All right. So I don't see any detail of spontaneous. That's okay though. Rupture, non-traumatic muscle, shoulder. So the other is the spontaneous. It just doesn't have its own index defined entry. And so that's why we're going to cover it under other, because that is the type. All right. And that's it. There you go. So M62 point, M62.119 is your final answer on this. And that is also because we don't know what shoulder, right? So we can't code what it didn't give us. So M62.119, final answer. All right, guys, I'm going to pause this and I'm going to pick this up and I'll do questions 11 through 20. See you soon.